Good evening. Would like to call the meeting of the North Little Rock Planning Commission to order. If you would, please call the roll.
Banks.
Present.
Blasco.
Here.
Chambers. Here. Foster.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Pierce. Here. Wallace. White. Here. And Chairman Clifton.
Here.
Move to excuse those not present.
Second. Motion made and seconded to excuse those members not present. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Under administrative, we do have 4 items that have been postponed today. So if you're here for either one of these items that I call off, you may be excused, or we'll be glad to have you stay with us. They will not be heard today. The WIS addition, Lot 5 and 7,
Which item number is that, Mr. Chairman?
item number 6. At the conditional use and special use at number 112 Smart House Way. Also, A is subdivision number 202409, WIS addition, the parking lot at 100 block of Smart House Way. Conditional use case number 2024-05, a conditional use to allow a parking lot in a C6 zone at 100 Smart House Way. And special use case number 2024-03 to allow an event center in a C6 zone at 112 Smart House Way. Those will be postponed until a different time.
All of item 6.
Pardon me?
All of item 6.
All of item 6.
Thank you.
Next order of business is our approval of our minutes. You have been provided with a copy of the minutes of our previous meetings. Are there any additions or corrections?
Move for approval.
Motion made and seconded. They be approved as submitted. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We'll move right into our Planning Commission hearing items. And without any objections from the commissioners, I'll move item number 4 to the first place, and we'll hear it first today. Subdivision case 2024-07, North Little Rock Central Station number 1, site plan review at 1301 Main Street for the City of North Little Rock Fire Station. Mr. Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant was present, and they agreed to items 1 through 13 in subsections, and the Development Review Committee recommends approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that all be approved, as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this? Yes, sir. Please come up and give us. You're good? Okay. Okay. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, we'll move into number 1 on the agenda. Mr. Chambers.
Item 1 is SD 2023.
Yes.
4A. Okay.
Item 4A is public hearing 2024-01 at a variance for a hillside cut ordinance to allow retaining wall at 1301 Main Street. We'll open this for a public hearing. Is there any comments from anyone? Seeing no comments. Any comments from commissioners? We'll close the public hearing.
Yeah.
Mr.
Like
Dixon?
the city engineer to make a comment that's and get it in the records.
City engineer, Mr. Cook, would you come forward? This has been reviewed by the city engineers department.
Correct. David Cook, Chief City Engineer. On this one, on these hillside cuts, we've been doing them case by case, but this one we're allowing the geotech report to come a little later. We've gotten a letter from the engineer saying that it will be designed to meet all of our qualifications. So before any construction begins or anything, we'll have ample time to review the geotech report and anything associated with it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cook. Mr. Chambers?
Any idea how deep rock is?
Do what?
How deep to rock?
I'm not sure right now.
Thank you.
Any other comments from anyone in the audience? Any comments from any of the commissioners? We'll close the public hearing at this time. All in favor of accepting this? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Mr. Chambers, we'll move to number 1.
Item 1 is SD 2023-67, the Grove Addition preliminary plat located near Plantation Lake Drive and Craig Road, 18 lot, it's an 18-lot, single-family preliminary plat. The applicant was present, agreed to items 1 through 11 in subsections, and the Design Review Committee recommends approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, this item be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience? Mr. White?
Hey, Don, tell me about the sidewalks. Why are they not required?
In the state lots,
They're state lots, so the
That's
city
what I-
council, do they have to approve that?
they're not required in the state, is that
about
correct?
right.
That's correct.
If they're not required in the state subdivision.
Okay.
It's
I just wanna make
lots
sure.
larger than 150 feet.
Yeah, I saw that. I just asking a question. You know, I am about sidewalks.
I'm with you, I'm with you.
Any other comments from anyone in the audience on this application? Any other comments from commissioners? On the application as presented, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Item 2 is SD 2024-05, Cypress Trail Addition preliminary plat, lots 1 through 25 at 10524 Crystal Hill Road, 25, so 25 lots, single-family preliminary plat. Applicant was present, agreed through items 1 through 16 in subsections, and the Design Review Committee recommends approval.
Motion, motion made and seconded that this be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? On the application as presented, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, just as an aside to Mr. White, we do not waive sidewalks. They have to go to city council every time.
Right, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, every time. We don't even recommend waiver. Item 3 is SD 2024-06, Original Town of Argenta Addition, Lot 2R, Block 44, replat and site plan review at 716 North Olive Street, 15 single-family, single-bedroom townhomes. The alley, the applicant was present, agreed to items 1 through 15 in subsections, and the Design Review Committee recommends approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, this be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Number 4 on our list has been heard already and passed. We'll go to number 5. Clendenin Addition, Lot 1R. This is 2024-06. Lot 1R to 1.5, a replat, site plan review of rezoning for a conditional use and special use at 201 West 4th Street. Is the applicant here? Yes, come up and give us your name for the record, please.
I'm Alan Engstrom.
And briefly tell us what you'd like to do there.
Sure, we're doing several things. This is the old First Presbyterian Church property at 201 West 4th Street. We'd like to do a number of things there. The most important is the event center. And so that's the main chapel area of the church. We would like to do some, I would call it light construction work to remodel and enhance the chapel there so that we can continue with church services, but also do other types of events as well. And so we're asking for a conditional use permit to do those activities. And I would note that I also own the Manise House across the street, where we already have a conditional use permit for doing events there. So we would like to be able to do events in the chapel as well. So that's the reasoning there. And then there's some vacant land across the street. We would like to build 4 townhouses in that location. And I believe in order to do that, we're asking for a rezoning for that area. And then the third item is in the back space of the church property, we would actually like to have the option of putting a daycare facility there, which we believe is desperately needed in the downtown North Little Rock area. So we would like a conditional use permit for that. And Thomas, is there? Want to speak to that item? Fourth item? Is there 4 items?
Yeah. And just the rezone too, parking lot. So I think that covered everything.
Okay. Do we need to vote on these, each one individually? Okay. On item A is the rezone of 2404, rezoning from R5 to R6 to allow residential development and parking lot. Okay. On West 4th and Orange Street. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners?
Yes,
Mr. Foster?
Mr. Chairman, where in conjunction of the proposed parking lot will the daycare be located? Is the daycare going to be a new structure, or is it going to be?
No, you can see the area that is under a white roof. Maybe they can get the cursor.
Okay, yes, I see it.
That's, in the plans, is referred to the education building, and that's just a old Sunday school
Yeah, yeah.
classrooms.
Okay, good.
So it'd
That's
be
what
a
I was
perfect
hoping it
fit
would be.
for a daycare.
Right. Then I guess the sanctuary is going to be the event center.
Yes.
This is- Good.
Good
Staff, I thought sometimes on these conditional use permits, we put conditions on these, you know, like hours of operations and those kind of things. Have we done that here? Okay. Okay. The same with the daycare and the event center?
The event center, this property is within the downtown quiet commercial. So the event center, the hours are limited to 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Good luck.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes, sir. I've been very familiar with this building. I've been in the fellowship hall, the interconnecting hallway between the fellowship hall and the sanctuary, and there's an internal courtyard also, and the administrative part of the church was up near the corner. So in terms of what I'm voting on, when you say an event center, you're talking about the chapel, the connecting hallway, the fellowship hall, and the internal courtyard. That's the event center. And then the part with the white roof is the daycare.
Yes.
And you could illustrate this for city council, so there's a line that this is the event center, this is the daycare.
Yes, sir.
That's the part I've been confused on. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Foster?
Where were you going to develop a playground for the daycare?
So there is a small parcel of land right there. Good job, whoever's doing the cursor. That came with the church. And we plan to put the required play area right there.
Is that an alley that you cross in there? Is
Yes.
that what we talked about, Thomas? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Any comments from anyone in the audience? On item A, 5A, all in favor of the application as presented? Pardon me?
It's a roll call.
Roll call. Please call the roll.
Banks,
Yes.
Glasgow,
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
and Chairman Clifton.
Yes. That part did pass. See Mr. Spencer, and he can tell you what to do next. Item 5B, Are there any additional comments on that? Mr. Chambers?
Yes, sir. As I said, I'm very familiar with the area, and it's not a sleepy little alley. There's quite a bit of traffic on that alley, and the city's loath to maintain them. There are planters that are built nearly across the alley, and I think one of them actually encroaches on your property line significantly. But that's not our concern. But I am concerned about its playtime. How do you plan to handle opening, the doors are flat with the alley, so there's not a lot of safety zone there. How do you plan to get children safely across the alley into the playground?
So at this time, I'd like to introduce the potential tenant, the daycare operator. Her name is Miss Emily Bruner. She can answer that for you.
Thank you.
Thanks. So you need to set up temporary fence, and you would, in that way, keep the children safe, and they would be channeled into the fenced-in area that's permanent. The gate would be opened, and then they would go in, and then the gate would be closed. Temporary fencing in the alley would be taken away.
So cones or something like that to block the alley for the moment that they're crossing?
Yes, the minimum would be cones. We will have to see if we have any children that require a little bit more assistance with knowing the defined area. But
Certainly.
yes, we'll always adjust.
It's a public right-of-way.
Yes.
And so fencing may be too hard a word for the city and their control over that right-of-way. So you may wish to explore multiple options
Okay.
with planning department.
Okay, so cones maybe are more preferable, or human chain, or
They're quickly
something?
put down, quickly taken up.
Oh, okay.
See,
I would think DHS would probably have something to say about that and probably give you some good guidance on that.
Yes.
Yes.
They're very helpful with
Yes, they
figuring
are.
out the best ways to do that.
and though I'm.
Make them happy, that's what we're concerned about.
That's what we're all concerned about, because they will keep us from doing things if they're
Yes,
not.
Yes, they keep us all out of trouble. Thank you.
Mike?
Well, one thing I would do, I'd put a crosswalk there, get the city to approve a crosswalk with the
That's a really
lines.
good idea.
And then there's some new lights, they're by Crestwood, they're also on North Hills. They hook up to a pole, they work on solar, and they blink, and it says
Okay.
crossing. I'd put one up on each side. We're trying to get one at Lakewood Elementary, but we hadn't, and they're not that expensive, according to our alderman. So that's what I would do. And then you got
Okay.
complete control of
And
the driver, not of the kids.
If we do something like that, is that something that needs to be petitioned and done by the city, or is that something that we do and we request that we're allowed to do it?
If I was Mr. Engstrom, I would call the city and request that.
Yes.
Because that is a
Just to make
city.
sure that we're all on the same page.
Always work with
I would
planning.
call the city.
Okay.
And let them do it,
Okay.
because that is a public right of way, and that's a crosswalk,
No,
just like Eller.
It makes a lot of sense.
And though I despise speed bumps, they will slow people down, or at least remind them that there's a crossing there. All the
And
time.
We can put up any signs that you request, children present, that sort of thing.
Okay. Ms.
Is there
Pierce?
room for the playground behind the building that you could just come out and not cross the street, but
There
just
will
have a
be
little?
too many vehicles in that space.
Oh, that's a parking lot.
Along it.
That's right, yeah.
We did explore several options, but one big consideration was the traffic flow. So yes, it would be easier in some ways if you exit straight from a door, but the alley is not that wide, and we're looking at older children being the ones that would be crossing like that. So the safety concern can definitely be taken into account.
How do you
Okay.
plan to handle drop-off, pickup?
We are still working out exactly how we're going to do that, but the initial plan is to use the alley. And we've looked at everything from drop-off times to windows of time. I've operated very well with windows of time for parents to drop off, and that's not been a problem. So that's probably what we'll go to.
In terms of hours of operation, what range did we provide? 6 to 6, are you comfortable with that?
Monday to Friday. We have the morning shift come in, get everybody squared away, ready to go, and they do initial setup for about 30 minutes, and kiddos don't even start coming in until about 7, and we adjust accordingly if need be. Because of mentioning DHS services, if foster care has an emergency placement, we're on site.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from anyone in the audience? On 5B, on the application as presented, please call the roll.
Banks,
Yes.
Blasco,
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
White.
Yes.
And Chairman Clifton.
Yes. That was approved. See Mr. Spencer, and he can tell you what to do next. Item 5C, special use 2024-02, special use to allow an event center in a C6 zone at 201 West 4th Street. Are there any additional comments you'd like to make? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Any other comments from the commissioner? Mr. White?
Is there any, the amount of people that can be, for the fire department to make that decision? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Banks,
Yes.
Blasco,
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
White.
Yes.
And Chairman Clifton.
Yes, your application was approved. See Mr. Spencer, and he can tell you what to do next.
Thank you all very much.
We have one more.
Yeah, actually, two.
Item 5C,
D.
5D, Mr. Chambers?
Yes, item 5D and E is item SD 2024-08, Clendenin's Addition, lots 1R through 5R, replat and site plan review located north of West 4th Street, east of Orange Street, and west of Maple Street. The applicant was present, agreed to items 1 through 18 in subsections, and the Design Review Committee recommends approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that this application be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Any other comments from the applicant? Any comments from any of the commissioners? Can we do these together? On 5D and E, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Item 7 on our agenda, Mr. Chambers.
6A. Oh, that's right. It was postponed. Item 7, SD 2024-08, Market Plaza Addition, replat of Lot A1 through R, Block 11 at 120 North Poplar Street. Applicant was present, agreed to items 1 through 10 in subsections, and the Design Review Committee recommends approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that this be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? On the application as presented, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. 7A, conditional use. A conditional use to allow a hotel in a C6 zone at 118 East Washington Avenue. Is the applicant here?
Yes, sir. Chairman Clifton, Thomas Pownell with Thomas Engineering. I'm here to entertain any questions you may have for this conditional use.
Okay, this has been before the site plan review. Mr. Chambers?
Yes, Mr. Thomas, is the applicant holding his cards as close to his chest now as he was then? Is there any better site plan than a box with a bunch of grayed-in areas? This is a 6 to 12-story hotel, major development downtown, and I'm approving a thing.
A 9-story hotel, I know that, but after that, that's the extent of it right now. The development plans have not gone forward until we get a conditional use and feel more comfortable that this will be allowed there.
And then you'll come back through with a site plan review?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? On the application as presented, please call the roll.
Banks,
Yes.
Glasgow,
yes,
Chambers,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
and Chairman Clifton.
Yes, your application was approved. See Mr. Spencer, and he can tell you where to go next. Thank you. Mr.
Thank you.
I have a question. Hey, Sean, do we have a height restriction down there? Okay, I was just curious what it was. Is that right?
140, 190. It's C6, so
Okay, I was just curious.
There was an overlay district that limited the height,
Yeah.
and the city council recently removed the district.
Okay,
That's correct.
thank you.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown.
Item number 8 on our agenda, Mr. Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 8 is SD 2024-11, D&B Commercial Park Addition, Lot 18, site plan review, construction of two warehouse buildings at 810 McKellia Drive. The applicant was present, agreed to items 1 through 15 in subsections, and the Design Review Committee recommends approval.
second,
Motion made and seconded. Be approved as submitted. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? On the application, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item 8A, conditional use 2024-02, conditional use to allow warehousing in a C4 zone at 810 McHale Drive. Are you representing the applicant?
Yes, sir, Chairman Clifton, I am.
Okay. Any comments you'd like to make on it?
No, just here to entertain questions.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? On the application as submitted, please call the roll.
Banks,
Yes.
Glasgow,
yes,
Chambers,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
White, and Chairman Clifton.
Yes, your application was approved. Mr. Spencer, he can tell you what to do next. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Item number 9 on our agenda is conditional use 2024-04, Rock City Complete Fitness conditional use to allow a med spa services office and salon to an existing health and fitness facility in an I-2 zone at 9,000 Commerce Cove. Is the applicant here?
I am.
Give us your name for the record, please.
Bill Forster.
Okay, you want to kind of fill us in briefly on what you'd like to do?
Yes, sir. We have a existing CrossFit gym, boot camp gym in our warehouse space, and in the front area, we have some office space, heat and cooled. You'll see in the design, we're looking at doing some chiropractic services, some massage therapy, just some med spa type services in that front area. We're going to contract with folks, but we want the opportunity to be able to allow to do that.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this application? Any comments from any of the commissioners? On the application as presented, please call the roll.
Banks,
Yes.
Glasgow,
yes,
Chambers,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
White, and Chairman Clifton.
Yes, your application was approved. See Mr. Spencer, and he can tell you what to do next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 10 on our agenda is special use case 2024-01, a special use to allow a daycare center in an R5 zone at 1821 Edmonds Street. Is the applicant here? Have you heard anything from them? Wasn't this postponed last month? Okay.
So, yeah, let's postpone until the March 13th meeting, and I'll get with her and see what, if she chooses to move forward, or if she wants to withdraw.
Okay, we don't need to, do any action on her postponement. Okay,
Do we move to postpone and vote on that?
that's what I say, we don't need to, being as how she's postponed it.
Okay, postponed by staff.
Yes. Okay, last item on the agenda is our public comment. Anyone?
He just likes sitting in meetings.
Okay, then, do I hear a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Made and seconded, we adjourn. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Thank you all. Thank you, Miss Bandy.
Yeah, you can go home now.